So what are we looking at this week? It's speaker cabinet miking techniques. Okay, so one of the subjects we get quizzed about most often in the studio is miking techniques, and in particular in relation to guitar cabinets. I tend to favour distancing the mic somewhat from the cabinet, usually a foot or so. As a starting position, I'll listen back, and I may, if I feel the need, move the microphone closer to the cabinet. Now, there are good practical reasons for this. If you have the microphone placed right into the speaker cone almost, you're much more likely to introduce artifacts onto the recording from inside the cabinet that you don't want. Vibrations of the mesh or grill, any vibrations to how the speaker's mounted, just unwanted noises and reflections from inside the cabinet of the sound bouncing around in there. You'll also find it sounds a little bit unnatural, and if you move the microphone back a bit, you'll get a much more natural sound and be able to reproduce a sound that sounds more like what you'll be hearing in the room. Ask yourself this question: when was the last time you listened to a speaker and placed your head almost entirely inside the speaker cone? It's a little bit nonsensical, because that's not how you listen to things. So we do get asked about using multiple microphones on speaker cabinets, and obviously that is a possibility. That will increase your workload. If you're using two microphones, you've got then you're using up two channels, and you're going to have two microphones to mix when it comes to mixing later. Here, I mean, we're recording with an analog setup on a multi-track machine, so we are track limited here, so we do avoid using too many microphones from the get-go, just because we don't want to run out of tracks later on in the session. And to be fair, a decent sound engineer should be able to mic up the cabinet and get a decent sound without using two microphones. This tends to stem from the days of using SM57s and everything. I know a lot of studios still favour these, but to be honest, it's the SM57's an old microphone. Technology has moved on, and you could get a microphone like this one. It's a condenser. It has a decent size, medium size diaphragm in it, and it's perfectly capable of picking up a good frequency range from the cabinet there. So we don't feel the need to use like a ribbon mic or something. But if we were using an SM57, then using a ribbon mic alongside that would be a reasonable thing to do. So when using two microphones, you're going to be increasing your workload, potentially introducing phasing issues, and you're going to have to mix. You're going to have an extra track to mix later on, essentially. You can get a very good sound with just one microphone, but yeah, if you were using an SM57, it's only logical to feel the need to place a ribbon mic, perhaps, to pick up some more of the lows. But yeah, at the moment we're tending to favour microphones like this one. It does an excellent job of picking up the frequencies from the speaker cabinet. And if you've got a stereo speaker cabinet, obviously if you're using some sort of stereo effects, like this cabinet has a stereo switch on the back, and if we've got a rack like this one with some fancy effects units in it, then by all means use two microphones. But like I say, you're much more likely to introduce problems in the sound with relating to phasing issues and things like that you'll have to you might have to work with later on. So I think that's all there is to say about miking up speaker cabinets. Like I say, we don't favour placing mics too close. We find it gives it it's quite an unnatural sound. You're much more likely to introduce artifacts into the recording from the noise that the cabinet may be making itself, and we can pick up a much nicer natural sound from a little bit further away. And that's how we mic up speaker cabinets at Gorilla Studios. And this is for a good practical reason. If you've no SD, and you know it.